Since 1821, whispers of the sewer clown have terrified parents and scarred entire generations. A creature that feeds on children, vanishing only to return every 27 years? Tonight we'll uncover its beginning and the chilling account of two children taken by the storm, pulled into the darkness of a drain. A curse that wakes every 27 years. And according to rumors, its origin may lie in a ritual performed in a small town where every child of that era was sacrificed to feed the entity. Before we dive in, if you've seen something you can't explain or lived through something that still keeps you up at night, tell us. Head over to Ghordan.com. It's free, quick, and maybe your story's next. Since 1821, whispers of the sewer clown have haunted the edges of history. Few records remain, but those that survive describe a tragedy so dark that an entire town vanished from the map. It began with a well, not the main source of water for the settlement, but an isolated stone shaft at the edge of the woods. The place was avoided by farmers and travelers alike. Local rumors claimed that under the cover of night, cloaked figures gathered there to perform forbidden rites. Rituals not meant for the living. One surviving account, written in a faded diary, describes strange sounds carried on the wind, chanting voices, the low hum of pipes carved from bone, and the terrified cries of children echoing from deep underground. The diary speaks of a figure that appeared at the mouth of the well. Its painted grin did not move, its eyes did not blink. A clown, though there were no circuses, no jesters, no festivals here. Nothing that would explain its appearance. Witnesses insisted that the face was human and yet not human at all. A grotesque parody of joy staring up from the shadows below. In the weeks that followed, the settlement descended into horror. Children disappeared one after another. Families whispered of shadows at their windows, of small footsteps heard at night, and of laughter carried from drains and hollow logs. By the time anyone dared investigate, it was already too late. When townsfolk finally gathered the courage to approach the ritual well, they found only silence. But carved into the damp stone walls were frantic marks, as though made by desperate hands. The smell of rot rose from below, and some swore, in the reflection of the water, they saw again the grinning face, waiting, patient, as if amused by their fear. From there, the story fractures into rumor. Some claim that the entire town had struck a pact with something beyond human comprehension, offering their own sons and daughters as sacrifices. Others said the clown was never summoned at all, that it was always there, a predator waiting for a door to be opened. What is certain is that the children of that town never returned. One by one, every boy and girl vanished, until no new voices were heard in the settlement. Without children, the future collapsed. Families abandoned their homes. Fields went to seed. In the mid-1800s, the town was nothing more than ruins reclaimed by the forest. And yet, the figure did not vanish with it. The legend says that when the last child was taken, the clown retreated into the earth. But not forever. It sleeps, and then, after 27 years, it rises again. Witnesses across generations have repeated the same vision, a painted figure emerging where the earth breaks open. First in wells and abandoned pits, then in drainage ditches, and finally in the tunnels of the modern sewer. Always where the ground is weakest, always where shadows run deep. Each time the cycle begins anew, a storm, a child drawn near the opening, and a face, silent, smiling, waiting to pull them into the dark. According to the oldest rumors, that first sacrifice in 1821 was only the beginning. The entire generation of children from that forgotten town may have been consumed, swallowed by something no one dared to name, and with their blood, the curse was sealed. The adults died with their silence, but the thing they unleashed did not die. It waits, it wakes, and every 27 years, it hunts again. After the town of 1821 was erased from the map, silence lingered for almost 3 decades. Then, the whispers began again. Exactly 27 years later, on a night of heavy rain, nearby settlers reported the disappearance of 2 young boys. They had been seen following a painted figure near a ditch swollen with water. When search parties arrived, the ground was empty. The only detail survivors dared to share was the sound. Laughter echoing from beneath the earth. Laughter that did not belong to a child. That was the first cycle, but not the last. Each generation left behind fragments, half-burned newspapers, torn pages from police logs, and stories whispered in kitchens long after children were told to sleep. And always, the same details emerged. A storm, a child wandering too close to a well, a pit or a drain, a face painted in white, eyes fixed, smile frozen, and then nothing. Nothing. In 1875, witnesses described hearing voices calling from beneath the cobblestones of a flooded street. The voices used names, repeating them again and again, as if luring children closer. That year, 3 siblings vanished after being seen chasing what they thought was a playmate into a culvert. Their bodies were never recovered. In 1902, a farmer swore he saw a man in clown paint, standing knee-deep in a field. Well, when he called out, the figure did not move. But when he returned with others, the well was empty, except for the sound of dripping water and something knocking against the stone from far below. By 1929, the legend had hardened into something families would not speak of openly. Yet, every 27 years, disappearances return with precision. In some cycles, only 1 or 2 victims. In others, entire groups of children swallowed by the storm drains in a single season. Always on rainy nights, always in places where the earth was open. Neighbors often reported sounds they could not explain. The laughter of children playing in basements where no children lived. The cry of a baby echoing from beneath the street. Even songs, simple lullabies, carried up through the pipes into their homes. And when they dared to look down, some swore they saw the same thing. A painted figure, half hidden in shadow, watching silently until they turned away. The pattern was clear, the cycle never broke. According to the legend, the entity was not only hunting children, it was feeding on something deeper, fear itself. Children, unlike adults, fear in shapes and faces. They see monsters in corners, shadows in closets, figures at windows. Their terror is vivid, raw, and easy to taste. That is why they say the sewer clown always comes for them. Because to it, a child's fear is a feast. And so the years passed, each generation leaving behind new whispers. 27 years, another storm, another child gone. The cycle carved itself into history like a clockwork curse, ticking beneath the soil, waiting for its next hour to strike. It happened only a few years ago. 3 children were playing in the flooded streets, chasing streams of water as they ran toward the drains. According to the only survivor, it began with a voice, a playful voice calling their names, laughing and whispering, "It's fun down here. Come play with us." The children followed the sound until they reached a storm drain at the end of the street. Water rushed around the grate, but from the darkness inside, 2 painted eyes stared back at them, unblinking, fixed, and cruel. Then it struck. In an instant, 2 of the children were dragged into the drain. The third, the survivor, tried to pull them back, screaming but could not. In his own words, "My friends were terrified. They were crying, screaming, but I wasn't afraid. I just wanted to save them. I tried to hit him, to make him let go, but I couldn't. He was too strong. My arms weren't enough." The boy returned home in shock, drenched and trembling. He told his grandmother his friends were still down there in the drain, but no one believed him. Later, he required medical treatment for trauma. His testimony remains the only record of that night. He described the figure clearly: a clown's face painted in white, lips stretched in a smile that never moved, and eyes that stared without blinking, a mask of joy over something inhuman. From a ritual well in 1821 to a storm drain in our own time, the cycle seems unbroken. Every 27 years it rises, it feeds on fear, and it waits where children least expect it. And maybe that survivor's account reveals the secret. Those who are consumed by terror are the ones it takes. Those who resist, who feel no fear, may escape, even if scarred forever. The only question left is simple: when the rain falls, will anyone believe them? What do you think? A superstition passed down through generations, or a predator that truly hunts from below, feeding on the fear of children? Tell us your thoughts in the comments, and if you have a story of your own, send it to Ghordan@Ghordan.com. We may investigate it in one of our next videos.